Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Today I'm bringing you another postcard from the angels, but before we dive in, I just have a couple of quick announcements to make. One of them is the fact that I have my schedule closed for private sessions at the moment because I will be traveling over the next 3 weeks, and hopefully I'll have very limited access to the internet so I can fully rest. But I am open only for urgent sessions. So if you do have an emergency that cannot wait until August, please reach out to me via email and I will do my best to fit you in as soon as possible. And if it's not urgent, you can always go to my schedule page and find the date and the time that is convenient for you. For the ones who are new here, I would like to just make a quick disclaimer because I do have changed a lot of my channelings into a different perspective. As some of you know, I have been studying non-dualism and I've been following a course in miracles, and obviously that gave me a whole new perspective on the journey, a lot more clarity, a lot more closeness to the truth of it all, and therefore I am no longer addressing a few labels that are very dominant in the spiritual community. I make no distinction between twin flames, soulmates, catalysts, karmics, anything of that. I do not use the terms timelines or any of the sort just because I cannot support any concept that amplifies the concept of separation and division between all of us. There is only one source of all of us, and we are one. So I cannot support any longer terms that actually just amplify that feeling of division and separation. So when I talk about union, is the union of the mind that has separated from God, and it is the union of that mind with source again. You know how they say that the longest trip you will ever have to make is the one from your mind and into your heart. That's exactly the union that I am talking about. So today, when I say you, will be all of us, me included as well. I am not separating anyone. Some of us are feeling it, some of us are not there yet, but it doesn't matter. It is for all of us. So as always, I'm gonna remove myself from this experience. I'm gonna shut down my mind, my judgment, my thought process to allow spirit to come through and deliver the messages that we all need to hear now. As I always say, take it as it resonates with you. It might be something that has already happened. It could be something that you're still in the process of unraveling, and it could be something that is to come to you. These messages will be very specific to people who have been feeling a bit stagnant, not feeling like there's a lot of movement in their lives at the moment. Could be even an energy of not wanting to make decisions, not wanting to move forward, not having the power, the will, power to move forward now, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go. I have been talking about this shift for a while, and that's exactly what my guides want to discuss today. I have briefly touched upon it before, the matter of this shift that we are all going through. It really is for all of us to understand that up until now, we have been on this quest of releasing our ego, stepping out of our mind, and bringing our mind into union with God. So as someone who didn't know how to do that, we had to rely on the help from Spirit. So Spirit has carried us here all along the journey, through the process of pain, of suffering, of loss, of grief, abandonment, abuse, addiction. Spirit took you away from that suffering, took you away from that pain. All that Spirit was doing was getting you ready and getting you prepared for the biggest union that you will ever experience in this lifetime, which is the union of you, your mind, and God. So if up until now you have been carried by Spirit here, the transition that is happening with you now is exactly the reversal of the roles, as you will be carrying Spirit going forward. You may experience that some of your old behaviors don't apply in your life anymore. Some of your old beliefs don't fit within your normal standards today. You may even have a deeper look at yourself in relationships and a deeper look within yourself as a whole, as in the way you have expressed yourself so far, the way you have interacted with other people, and the way you want to carry yourself forward. So that transition that we do from being carried by Spirit into carrying Spirit within us, it's another journey of surrender. I started writing an article, and eventually it turned into a book, which I am almost finishing and editing, and I will be sharing with all of you as soon as possible. But I was writing about the 4 principles of surrender, the 4 principles of this union of the mind with God. So during this transition, we have to understand 4 principles that are really important in releasing deeper our inner fears, our ego mind, and our need to control our life circumstances. The first principle teaches us that I do not know who I am, who I think I am, I only think I am that. So that principle teaches us that we have a very limited understanding of our full potential. We couldn't possibly know who we are because we have yet to reach Source in its full capacity. So sometimes we are presented in our lives with opportunities, with new projects, with new jobs, with new people. And our ego mind tends to tell us that we don't want to do that, or that we are not qualified to do that, or that we can't see ourselves doing it. And that is because we don't know our full potential. We don't know who we are. We are finding out that every day through all the interactions we have with other people and the interactions that we have with Spirit as well. So that is the first principle. I do not know who I am. Who I think I am, I only think that I am that. The second principle is I do not know what I want. What I think I want, I only think that I want it. This goes hand in hand with the first principle. Not knowing what we want because we don't know who we are. How could we possibly know what we want if that wouldn't come from our ego mind? If we don't know who we are, we cannot possibly know what we want. Everything that we have been wanting so far comes from the ego, comes from the fear of not having, the fear of lack, the fear of being alone, the fear of not having money, the fear of not having a job, the fear of not having a home. So all our wants came from fear. They did not come from love, because love just is. Love has no needs. Love simply is. It simply exists. So the fact that we want things and the fact that we have wants and desires is already a principle of lack and not one of abundance, because we're already saying that what we want is something that we don't have, that we have yet to achieve. So the third principle is I am not in control of my decisions. What is being presented to me has already been decided by God. And this is one of the most difficult ones to integrate, because our ego so desperately wants to grasp onto anything that it can find. And our ego has a need to control everyone and everything, every single situation in our lives, the way our money goes, the way our family acts, the way our life experiences unfold. We have this need to control everything. And that need to control everything also comes from fear. The fear of not having our expectations fulfilled, the fear of failing. But it all comes from fear. The need to control things comes from fear. But if we follow the steps and understand that, first of all, I do not know who I am. Second of all, I do not know what I want. Then why would I be in charge of my decisions if I do not know who I am and what I want? When left to my own devices, I make decisions that don't come from pure love, without the interference of fear. The reason why this principle is so hard to integrate, it's because you need to give up control. And giving up control means that you need to eliminate the concept of free will. And you can only do that by understanding that free will comes from ego. Because free will says, I can do this and you can do that. So it creates not just a separation of two beings, it creates the division of two minds. When in reality there is only one love and one mind, and both of them should be united. So yes, you do have free will, but it does come from ego. So what happens most of the times is that a decision has already been made for us. It is presented to us. And what we do is we try to make a decision on top of the decision that has been decided for us, and we do it from ego. Rather than understanding that whatever that is being presented to us is another gate, is another doorway towards the union of the mind with Source. If we would understand that only fear causes resistance and contrast and creates blocks between us and our experiences, we would know that if it's coming from fear, it is not taking us towards love. So letting go of the control, letting go of the need to make decisions, and the stress and the anxiety and the depression that comes from that pressure. It's just understanding I am not in control of my decisions. And the reason for that being is that I do not know who I am and I do not know what I want. So I am not in control of my decisions. What do I need to do? Get out of my own way. Get out of my own way to allow love to happen, to allow love to unfold, getting out of my own way. And understanding that when I am left to my own devices, I make decisions from fear in the absence of pure love. Which takes us to the fourth principle. And the fourth principle teaches us that I am not here for myself. I am not here for others. I am here to witness the unfolding of God through me. When we fully accept this principle, we learn to understand that we don't need to want and desire anything, because we are not here for ourselves. And who we are is already whole and complete and doesn't need anything. It also takes us into the understanding that we are not here for others. We are not here to teach them. We are not here to guide them. We are not here to influence them. We are not here to please them. And so that makes us free. And then the final understanding that I am here to witness the unfolding of God through me. So this process that you've been going through was Spirit allowing you to empty your vessel of all your past experiences, of all your past beliefs, of all your limited beliefs, of all your conditioning. And you may go through this stage where you feel empty. There is nothing. Maybe you used to write and now you don't feel inspired. Maybe you used to have a lot of ideas and now you're not feeling creative. Maybe you had so many projects and now they don't make sense anymore. So many things that you wanted to do and now you have no desire or motivation to do them. That is exactly the transition of emptying your vessel from all your past experiences to allow this shift where you were carried by Spirit in all your heaviness and the heaviness of your experiences, and now there's a moment to clear all of that out of your energy so you can be an empty vessel and Spirit can come inside and you can carry it forward. So understanding that I'm not here for myself means that I do not make selfish decisions. I'm not here for others means I will not jeopardize my own well-being to assist others. So I am here to witness my unfolding. I am here to unite my mind with Source and allow God to show me that union, to be a reflection of that light within. Obviously, this is a very brief explanation of what I'm writing in the book. I cannot wait to share with all of you. But I will be talking more in depth about each and every one of these principles on separate videos, just for you to work on them and have another perspective on your journey. Now, what's really important to understand is that Source is always a destination. Source is always a destination. Your path, your journey here is to go back to Source, to go back to God. And the universe is your GPS. The universe works for God as well. It works as a guide. It works as the GPS. So if God is your destination, there is where you need to go. All the signs of the universe will take you there. If you do take a wrong turn, the universe will autocorrect and self-adjust a new direction for you to get there. But the destination never changes. The destination is always God. So you can go willingly and effortlessly and within the flow of the universe coordinates and allow the whole process to unfold, or you can create a lot of resistance and go through some situations that are very unpleasant and uncomfortable. But either way, your destination on the GPS never changes. It's just a matter of you getting out of your own way and allowing the universe to show you the way to get there. Now, what happens many times is that when we make decisions by ourselves and ignore the coordinates from the GPS that the universe is giving us, is that we try to take a shortcut, or we try to take a different avenue to get there. And again, there is no right or wrong. There is no bad or good. There is no better or worse. There are just many avenues to get to the same place. So if you do understand these 4 concepts within yourself and your own self-awareness, that will give you a whole new level of compassion towards other people, because you understand, if I do not know who I am, Others don't know who they are either. We're all going through the same journey. If I do not know what I want, I cannot demand and expect that the other person will know what they want. They're also finding out as much as me. And if I am not in control of my own decisions, I have to understand that other people are also not in control of theirs. If they are allowing the universe to take them where they need to go. So if we're not here for ourselves, not for others, but to witness the unfolding of God through us, then the other person is also going through the same journey as you. And so, as they are not here for themselves, and they're not here for you either, they also must attend the coordinates that their GPS is showing them. Now, what happens many times is that we take different roads, different avenues, different paths, but we will all end up in the same place. Now, in terms of what you call the physical union between two beings, regardless of the label that you apply, whatever makes sense to you, that union needs to happen in God, because God is the destination in the GPS of your journey. So in order for you to come into a sacred union and a divine connection with someone, that meeting, that union needs to happen in God. Now imagine God as the location where you need to go. Now imagine that you have been following the coordinates from the universe to get to your destination, and you have arrived. But as you arrive there, you don't see the other person there with you yet. And it is because they are following their own coordinates. But the union can only happen in God. Now, what happens is you may think that you know who you are, and you may think you know who they are, and you may think that you know what you want, and you may think that you know what they want. And so you start to take control over your decisions, and you start to take control over their decisions. And every time you do this, you take a step away from God. And now you have completely stepped away from Source, and you went back into the illusion that you need to control everything because you know everything. And so every time you meet this person and you try to connect with them, you are connecting with them outside of the meeting place that you have both agreed to be the destination of your relationship. So it's almost like you leave the place where you're supposed to meet to walk back to pick them up. But you don't know what coordinates they have. So my best advice for the ones who have arrived to your destination, that you have found God in whatever shape, form you may call it. If you have found it, stay there. There's no need for you to go anywhere else. There is no need for you to know who you are and who other people are and what you want and what other people want, and taking control of your decisions and trying to do things just for yourself or just to please others. Because none of that is real. All of that is a fabrication of the mind that has separated from God through ego and free will. So if you have arrived to your destination, sit down and wait. And I don't mean literally sit down and wait. I mean allow Spirit to work through you by virtue of you carrying Spirit going forward. This is the shift that we're all going through. It's happening with all of us to a certain degree. It's very predominant with some of us. It's not so obvious with others, but we are all moving towards the same destination, and we will all meet there. So will your counterpart. So if you feel like you have arrived at your destination, you are with God, and your counterpart hasn't arrived yet, Don't get out of your place to come catch them and take them with you. Let them walk whatever road, avenue, street that they need to get into to get there, because it's a very unique journey for all of us. So we're not here for ourselves, we're not here for others, we are here to be a manifestation of God. We are here to understand the illusion and to walk towards the truth. I'm hoping that these messages brought a lot of peace to your heart today, that you could find some resonance within them. If they don't right away, I would suggest that you come back later on and listen to it again. I know that it is a lot to think about. It is a lot of food for thought. So please feel free to come back and listen to it again at a later stage when you are ready to take another step of that journey. As always, I want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting this channel on my Patreon page. I am so grateful and I really appreciate your help. For the ones who would like to support and keep this project alive, you can go to my Patreon page and subscribe to on one of the tiers, which is to support this platform and to support my work. And another way of helping me would be to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment, and to make the word reach higher places and as much people as possible. So I'm going to leave it at that today. I am wishing you an amazing day. I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings, and I'm really praying that you stay safe and protected within the power of your own heart. Big love to all of you.